That sounds lovely. But yeah, Div, I can message you an invite. Amy Jo, you already wrote it down, but yeah, we in the Discord we have, so there's like the book section, and because it is a romance book Discord, all of those are subgenres of romance. But we have an LGBTQIA section, um, and not that it fits, like if it was a fantasy book that, let's say, lesbian fantasy romance, it's not that it couldn't also go into the fantasy section. We usually just um, kind of gauge that on like what it fits into more. I haven't. Well, I watched the first season and then didn't watch the second season and haven't watched the third. Yeah, I can send it to you, Dib. Satch joined it too, so she's in there. Cool, bud. I have not read the books. I will say historical romance, particularly Regency historical, is generally like really low on my genre reading list, or my subgenre reading list. If I read historicals, um, I tend to prefer medieval, honestly. Um, and my whole kingdom for a Viking romance that isn't fucking that Joanna Lindsay one. I don't mind Alice Coldbreath either. Like she does some. Want the harsh reality? Yeah, I've heard, Div, I've heard if you're gonna go historical romance and want a little less of that, I've heard Beverly Jenkins is like kind of an OG there. Um, but certainly I feel like, 9,000 Dukes, everybody's a fucking Duke, right? That certainly glosses over a lot of the. It's almost more of like just a setting to put in the the norms, if that makes sense. It's more of a setting than it is a any bit historical. Yeah, it's just I don't know. I don't mind reading it occasionally. Oh, the sun, man. But I don't know that I've read much in the way of Regency, and most of what I have read. I read who's the one that always does the women in tech kind of. I can't think of her name. I think I read the first 2 books of Cove. Something Cove. Can't think of her name. Not Allie Hazelwood. Not her. Spindle Cove? Maybe. Now, I'm so bad with authors' names. Why did I think Allie Hazelwood was somebody else? There are not many. In my historical shelf, there are not many. A sum total of 27 books. And Outlander is included in there for like 7 of them. I've read 10 Things I Hate About the Duke by Loretta Chase. I read a little bit of Lisa Kleypas, the Gamblers. Who am I thinking of? Oh, I did read some Jeannie Lynn though. I got one of her books for free, and that was decent. I'm just not super into the like, only touch my hand kind of deal. Maybe I didn't shelve it correctly. Anyway. Tessa Dare. That sounds right. Is she the one that, the one with the anthropologist or something? And he's, like, she's trying to present her paper on the whatever creature she found. Yeah, that one. I didn't read many of it, like 1 or 2. So I've done a little bit of dabbling in there, but not any any depth to my reading. Ah! Broke that one too. We'll mend that right along that seam. Here as well. I think it's just because it's weak there, and so it... Yeah, I know, like, some people are really into the, like, they didn't have a chaperone. Like, and it's just not my jam, generally. I don't mind it every now and then, but that little fold is weird, huh? Sorry. Big feelings, yeah. Yeah, we'll put a little... I think it's firmed up enough that I can mend it now. Goodness, it's 4:30. Jiminy Christmas. Jiminy. Are you licking the bed again, you little weirdo? Did I leave it over here? No. I also didn't push the top on that one. I think that's probably what cracked these. When I go and push the top down, it just looks for a place to flex. All right, repaired on those. Let's repair the other. It'll be the other two, because I'm gonna do the same thing on the tall boy. Fisher, stop licking the bed. You little weirdo. I'm going to push down on this one much, just a little bit, just so I kind of get that corner like a pumpkin has. It didn't do too bad. All right. Yeah, he's going to be a tall boy. Now we can fix this other one as well. Move. It's stuck. There we go. No wonder he's so angry at me. It's late. All right. Yon we toot. But yeah, I guess for historicals, I definitely tend towards medieval. Highlander, I like that. Regency just tends not to be my jam. And I shouldn't even say that, because like I've enjoyed some Regency ones, but it's not what I seek out. All I want is a good Viking book. I heard good things about, there was one book that I put on my list, but it wasn't at the romance, sci-fi romance. So yes. Babe, I'm slightly boring in that I only read romance books. But in that, I read just about all subgenres of romance, so. But Mr. Salt is a um, is a sci-fi reader. Because don't you know, Mars needs women. Classic trope. Yeah, I think I just got a little deep with that one. That's the problem. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't. Though I could probably get him to read, like, what was that one? 5. The Class 5 series. Though he did read, and if it's technically classified as a romance, what was the one where it's like the time traveling letters? You read that one recently-ish. Not You've Got Mail. I think it was romance. I might be wrong. This Is How You Start a Time War, maybe? Something along those lines. Yeah, that one. I don't remember if it was romance or not. I feel like it was. But like romance light. Ah, gotcha. I'm wrong. So we've got 3 pumpkins. So these guys will dry up a little bit. I will cut them off of their bases so they've got a nice flat base. And then we'll cut them into jack-o'-lanterns at some point. Just gotta get them covered. Gorgeous, exactly. It is a 90s movie. You've Got Mail, I think was 90s. With Tom Hanks and... Ugh, I can picture her. Big blonde hair. I forget her name. I'm awful with names. Like, just terrible. Meg Ryan? Meg Ryan. Meg Ryan, yes. Oh boy, we are sticking. Settle down. There we go. adequately covered. Oh, my belly's grumbling. Fisher's like, shut up, I'm hungry. Time Traveler's Wife, book in the movie. Amy Jo? Yeah. Oh, she's my wife, but she's a child thing is a little squicky. That's a little squicky. Dude, can we not trip over everything? And like, you can make the argument that like there let's not make the argument. How about that? Let's not make that argument. It gets a little squicky. The idea of finding somebody over and over again, I haven't actually seen it, but the idea of finding somebody over and over again, right? Is a beautiful idea. Like that idea of it being your person, right? But there is a non-zero amount of like, oh, they're a child. Who was it? I want to say it was somebody in the romance book Discord recently that was reading a book that had an interesting concept that rather than like, so fated mates is a common trope, right? That you are fated to be with this one person, and some people like it and some people don't, right? There's some amount of like some people can fall into lazy writing because of it. Oh, you're fated mates, well, we're gonna be together at the end, that kind of thing. That it can be a little lazy to take away some of that journey of like. But somebody in the book forum was recently reading, there was a book that had this idea of like, it was kind of a spin on fated mates in that it was like a fated person, but that person might be an enemy. Like you two are fated to be together in some way, whether that is mortal enemies or lovers or what have you, which I think was kind of a cool take because they know that, and so they're trying to suss out whether or not, like, are we gonna hate each other and try and kill each other or not? That kind of thing. This song is terrible. All right, let me do a quick wipe of my Terminator 2. Yeah, some people aren't into it and some people are. Like, I don't mind it, but I'm also not like, it can certainly get lazy if not written well, you know? But I also understand that some people think it detracts from like any amount of, or from some amount, not any amount, some amount of discovering the person, the, the other, right? It takes away from some amount of relationship building. All right. Concept of fate. Yeah, I think in most cases, the fated mates is more um, like there is a fantasy reason for it. Like everybody has a mate for fantasy reason. Um, and in some cases, it's like a biological one, you know. Um, in others, it's magic reasons. Um, so it can be okay if used well, and but that's I guess kind of like anything. All right, friends. Well, we got 3 done, which isn't that many, but they were larger, so all right. My hope is to go and pick up the soup bowls, probably on Saturday, to hopefully start glazing those. Terade wheels. It's not a bad idea. Just to invite more chaos into that man's life. He's gonna get so many raids today. That's what happens when you take off, I guess. Welcome in, Becky and the Chonk. What a great name. Who is the Chonk? Please tell us all about it. Offline raid idea. Chonky lady cat called Cookie. Delightful. Tour of the studio space? Sure, Sarah. It's kind of a penny tour. It's a quick, very quick tour. So, we're sitting over here in the corner. So, here we go. Hi, hello. So, there's the door. You guys sit here. This is my wedging table, right? My reclaim, etc. We're sitting over here in the corner at my wheel. There's Hannah. Various. Yeah, welcome in, Becky. Wear shelves and plastic. That is the shelf where things go. Basically everything that's not a tool, but